Now we're recording and talking about the hit movie Free Lunch Express. Action!
Oh, I thought you were introing the show like that. You can intro the show. Alex,
movie episode.
Yeah.
Watching a film. And seeing its themes. Hey, everybody. We're just palling around a little before Christmas time. All the Santa hats are out, and we thought we'd put a fun one together and do a Poddamn Generation Lost crossover, the way we know our listeners love. So let's bring in the holiday season with some of our hosts. Of course, you know me, Alex, and Anders Lee is here.
Anders Lee here, jolly.
Special host of the show, Jake Flores.
Jake Flores here, also jolly.
And the gregarious host of the Generation Lost movie Showtime podcast, Jeremy Hammond and Bryn and Jeremy. Hey, thanks for coming on your show and our show.
Wow, thanks for having us, Alex. I'm looking forward to another very popular crossover. I'm sure your fans will love it.
I'm looking to make a lot of money off this one. A lot of cash.
But pleasure to be here.
Is this also your Patreon, or is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right.
Real fans know that Poddamn America and Generation Lost actually exist in the same universe, coexist.
That's right.
True, yeah.
This isn't a universe crossover. We're just already in the same universe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
who plays the Hulk in our universe?
Eric Bana.
Yeah,
we're also in the Marvel universe. Yeah, because in the Marvel universe, New York exists. So
right,
that's true.
Yeah,
this is like
we're in Anders Lee here.
Alyssa from Chasing Amy showing up in Jay and Silent Bob. It's not. It's all the same universe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It all connects. The city is the main character of our universe.
This is actually, that's actually a great segue to something I just found out before we started recording.
What is that?
Do you know the movie If?
Yes, with Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, it's a
Where
great
he's in an
movie.
all-boys school.
Right. It's about basically like British Columbine, basically. It takes place in the late 60s.
It's a school shooting movie.
Right, but it's like pro-school shooting. It's
Sorry,
like,
I thought
awesome.
British Columbine was going to be a teacher who touches all the kids.
Or getting revenge against that kid, against that teacher. I guess that's sort of.
Alex, don't look confused. Don't look confused.
Why would they touch all the kids? They shoot them.
The reputation of a British school.
But why would it be?
It's so a shooting is an American style tragedy.
Yes, exactly. So British Columbine. If you transfer it from America to Big St. James Island, that's what it's going to look like.
Like an anglicized Columbine.
Exactly.
Anyway, Anders, continue.
A Protestant Columbine, if you will.
I thought it was going to be a kid brings a billy club to school and he beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Telling me that the equivalent of a gun, like a gun to America, what the equivalent there is in the UK is pedophilia. Is that why they have the police thing kind of worked out? Because the police will, like, they're pedophiles?
Yes.
Those hats are a dead ringer for pedophiles. Usually.
Yes, absolutely.
British.
nonces.
Bobby nonce.
No, so if, ... it's the title is If, ellipses.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie starring Malcolm McDowell as, like, kind of a renegade, bad boy, schoolboy who's in this, like, British... They're what they call public school, which I think is like a boarding school. Right. And he gets his hands on some military grade equipment, guns. I think they're affiliated with the military or something. I don't know how they get it in Britain, but they do. They get all these machine guns. And
the Irish, I bet.
And their bombs.
What's that?
The bombs.
Yeah, and the bombs.
The bombs, right?
It's basically...
The bombs, right?
It's basically that Pink Floyd song, but
yes, the wall with warfare. They declare war on the teachers. It's awesome. But then apparently, Malcolm McDowell, I didn't realize this. There's another movie, Lucky Man, that he was in a couple years later, which is also in the same universe. And he plays the same guy. I had no idea that it was a continuation, but he's like a coffee salesman in that. And that's sort of like because the first one was like a very 1968 Pigs Against the Wall, like let's fight the man. And then the next one is sort of like a critique vaguely of imperialism or whatever. And then
pigs
there's a
at the
third
desk
one.
having a discussion.
There you go. And there's a third one that he also made with Lindsay Anderson called Hospital Britannia, which supposedly, I haven't seen it yet, but supposedly it's a critique of the NHS, starring Malcolm McDowell.
Good.
Oh, well, that lines up with this.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, it goes from new left hardcore radicalism to kind of reactionary,
Right.
Not to...
Yeah. Well, that probably is a good place to start with this movie. But let's sort of introduce the movie first before we get into Malcolm McDowell, who's the first person we see. So I found this movie on Facebook. Someone was, I think, making fun of it, but I thought it looked pretty stupid and fun to watch. It's a movie made by a studio called Kappa Films or something like that. That makes all those like Kevin Sorbo Christian movies. Holy shit, my fucking food is here. All right, somebody else take it away.
When you say Kevin Sorbo, it just goes off. He has a sensor for that.
He has an app. He has a special app on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
What it's meant for is not for when he's talking about Kevin. It's when people around him are talking about it. So it reminds him like, you want to talk to these people.
Right.
All right.
Reminds you to work out. Every time I hear Kevin Sorbo, it's like, I got to pump some iron so I can take on Hercules.
We all think that. But you know what? I was surprised. Was he actually in this movie?
Sorbo?
Yes. Uh-huh.
He's George Washington.
Oh, he's barely in it then.
Yes.
I guess we'll get into that in a minute. But we watched Free Lunch Express, which is a movie. I won't take a guess as to what it's about in terms of summary, but it fixates on Bernie Sanders and acts as if it is a biography, but entirely of lies.
Yes.
Yeah. The things that are true in the movie. His name is Bernie Sanders. He lives in Vermont. He's sometimes a carpenter.
He becomes
runs
a mayor.
for office.
Yeah.
He was from Brooklyn. That was in it very briefly.
Yes. He eventually meets AOC.
That's true. And you can tell, I mean, that was the thing is when AOC comes in at the end of the movie, that's who they wanted to make the movie about.
Yeah.
It's all just leading up to him having a chat with AOC about how to make a Manhattan. Also, weird insinuation that Bernie Sanders is an alcoholic in this movie is kind of something I keep coming back.
Does not drink. Yeah, he's sober now. But I was curious, what you guys think was the reason behind making this, because I kind of suspect it was in 2019. They're like, we gotta crank out something about Bernie. It seems like he's the front runner. He might win. The kids love him. We have to rebut this. Did they think he was waiting in the wings to be president? Because throughout the movie he's kind of a screw up, right? But then I guess he has these conversations with the ghost of Stalin that kind of reinvigorate him.
Right.
So did they actually think he was going to become president and they needed to do this to stop him, or what was their modus operandi?
Yeah,
I don't think. I'm sorry. You go.
It's very cynical, I think, in that it's at once sort of establishing there's this guy. It's so crazy. I think it's very ideological in that it's so crazy that they don't. That there could be someone who calls themselves a socialist in the White House or even is making a reasonable run, but they don't really know how to critique them, so they're mostly just cashing in. They're mostly just being like, this is a guy and we hate him, so let's make a movie about him and make some money.
Right, they don't know how to critique him or make a film, apparently.
That is a good point. And one of my favorite things about this movie is that when you look up the blurb on IMDb and Wikipedia is clearly written by the producers of the movie, and it is from the producers who watched too much Airplane.
That is confusing. I genuinely thought it was the guy who made Airplane.
No, it's from people who have watched a movie once.
A couple times. I just watched Soul Plane, and it definitely didn't hit different from that.
Oh, hello. Here's an interesting factoid I just found in 2 seconds of clicking. The guy who made this movie, Lenny Britton. I found his LinkedIn page.
Oh, and,
good. Went to Dartmouth College for his master's degree, But where did he go for his undergrad?
Liberty.
University of Vermont.
PragerU.
Weird.
And what was Lenny Britton doing in 2009 through 2010? Running for United States Senator from Vermont.
Oh!
Was that against
competitor?
Was that against Bernie or?
That would have been. Yeah, he would have been the Republican. He would have been the Republican running against him. Yeah.
Well, but
Probably.
are you sure it was
Or the other
Leahy?
senator? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think he might have been against Leahy.
Oh, let's look that up then. You guys keep talking. I'll do research.